Day 5 of the trial of a former Badger football player wraps up tonight. What friends of the victim and defendant told the court about their actions leading to the murders.
Plus, after commemorating the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, local lawmakers and physicians are calling on Republican leaders and the state Supreme Court to overturn Wisconsin's abortion ban.
And the Dane County Humane Society needs your help with an unusual trio of birds. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Marcus Randall L's trial returned after a weekend away today. He is the former Badger football player charged in the deaths of 2 women in Janesville. It happened back in 2020, Sierra Winchester and Brittany McAdory.
The state has continued to call friends and family of those at the center of this case to testify. Our Catherine Merck joins us live outside of the Rock County Courthouse in Janesville with more on what was said on the stand today. Catherine?
In this last day of the state calling witnesses to testify, we heard of some of the last moments from the victims' lives. One of those friends was Edward Brown. He said Randall L. told him that he felt like Sierra Winchester was taking advantage of him. Brown also said Randall L. told him that he felt like she was taking things from him. He told the court about a message he had for Winchester while she was still alive.
She was telling me that I should stay away from him because she was scared of him, I guess. She asked me what I thought she should do. I told her to stay away from him. It was Harmony Township. Harmony Township, but you were
Like I said earlier, this is the last day this state is planning to call witnesses. So that means tomorrow the defense is going to start to call witnesses up. The court will be back in front of the jury tomorrow at 9 a.m. Reporting live in Janesville, I'm Catherine Merck for News 3 Now.
Catherine, thank you. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, we got some sunshine this afternoon. That was the good news, but it is kind of breezy out here, and it is adding a chill to the air. And we will see a couple of chances for snow coming up this week. But let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. You can see the morning clouds giving way to some sunshine, and then just before sunset, those clouds started to come back in from the west. They're still not very thick, but they will thicken up a bit overnight. On Doppler track, there have been some flurries up across northern Wisconsin. The activity around La Crosse is probably not reaching the ground, not at least seeing any surface reports of that. And 6-hour future track radar shows the bulk of the snow staying up to the north of us. So it's possible areas well north of Madison could see a few flurries this evening, but that's pretty much about it. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s, but it doesn't feel like that. 27 right now in Madison, 28 degrees in Oregon, 27 degrees in Cross Plains. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, temperatures are right around freezing close to Lake Michigan and generally in the mid to upper 20s elsewhere. Otherwise, look for skies to become mostly cloudy this evening. Temperatures will hold nearly steady in the middle to upper 20s and then probably hold steady overnight. Tomorrow should be a dry day, but we do have some snow in the forecast for Wednesday. I'll tell you how much we can expect in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Today, the trial began for a man accused of shooting at Madison police during a chase last year. 24-year-old Singleton Smith Harston is facing 16 counts, including 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Smith Harston robbed a convenience store last January, leading to a chase in which he shot at officers. According to online records, his trial is scheduled to last through Friday. There is a lot at stake in this April's election, and at the top of the ticket will be the race for state Supreme Court.
And continuing our sit-downs now with all of the Supreme Court candidates, political reporter Will Keneally sat down with former Justice Dan Kelly. Will?
So Kelly is the only former justice in the race. First appointed to the bench in 2016, he lost to liberal Justice Jill Karofsky 3 years ago. He's one of 2 conservatives running in the 4-way primary, but he says that does not worry him.
I'll take whoever I can get, and I think we'll have a very interesting conversation.
Kelly is running in a packed 4-way primary against another conservative, Judge Jennifer Dorow. Sitting justices have made endorsements on both sides, but Kelly says he stands out.
Of all 4 candidates, they studied them carefully, and their conclusion is that I am the only constitutional conservative in the race.
And how he defines that constitutional conservatism?
Squeezing out public personal preferences in personal politics and making sure that the result of the case is something that's commanded by the law.
He says that's in contrast to one of the liberal candidates in the race, Milwaukee County Judge Janet Protasewicz, who took a clearer stance on gerrymandering than most judges take.
When she says she'll put her thumb on the scale, when she says that she'll bring her values to the courtroom to decide cases, what she's telling us is she's going to combine the power of the court with the power of the legislature.
One of the key issues that will come up before the court this year will be abortion. Kelly wouldn't comment directly on it.
And this is where there's a line on what I can address as a judicial candidate, and we'll walk right up to that, but we'll try not to cross the line.
But he touched on what are called unenumerated rights, the idea that someone could have a right to an abortion even if the word itself doesn't appear in the Constitution.
Article 1, Section 1 says, amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So there's obviously other rights besides those three that governments are meant to protect. And so we'll wait and see what kind of arguments people bring to the court.
And so just a few hours ago, Kelly received the endorsement of a pro-life group based in Madison, Wisconsin, Family Action. That's among 3 of pro-life groups that are endorsing him. He says that's not because of any promises that he's made to those groups, but more because of his judicial philosophy.
Will, thank you. Sunday marked the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court decision that legalized abortion. The High Court reversed the ruling last summer, bringing an end to the constitutional right to an abortion. Hundreds of abortion rights rallies took place across the country yesterday, including right here in Madison. And today, local Democratic lawmakers and reproductive health leaders gathered to commemorate the anniversary. Republicans have rejected any proposals to overturn the state's criminal abortion ban.
So we are here today to reintroduce a resolution that would put this on the ballot and finally give the voters of Wisconsin a voice and a moment in which to say, we want Wisconsin's criminal abortion ban overturned. We need to restore Roe in Wisconsin so that we can finally, once and for all, restore our freedom.
Today, doctors across Wisconsin also gathered virtually to urge the state Supreme Court to overturn Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban. The ban went back into effect last year after Roe was overturned.
Wisconsin's abortion ban allows lawmakers who don't have any medical training to make personal health care decisions for women. These decisions should only be made between women and their trusted doctors. Every woman should be able to decide what is best for her health, her reproductive future, without political influence.
The physicians, one of whom is a plaintiff in Attorney General Josh Kaul's lawsuit against Wisconsin's ban, also spoke about how the ban has harmed her patients, deeply impacts physicians, and threatens women across the state.
Breaking tonight, 2 students are dead, a teacher critically wounded after a shooting at a charter school in Iowa. It was reported just before 1 this afternoon at Starts Right Here. That's a nonprofit school aimed at helping at-risk youth. About 20 minutes after the shooting, 3 suspects were taken into custody following a traffic stop. Police say it was a targeted attack. Right now, it's unclear what led to the shooting, and the names and ages of the victims have not been released. New tonight, 11 people have now died following that mass shooting at a dance club in Southern California. A memorial now growing outside the Star Dance Studio where the shooting happened Saturday night. The Monterey Park community will gather for a vigil tonight in honor of the victims and 9 others who were hurt in the attack. The suspect has been identified as a 72-year-old who died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a standoff with police.
This is just a devastating, tragic moment for our community. I think many of us are still in disbelief.
A motive behind the attack remains unclear. The shooting cast a shadow over Lunar New Year celebrations in this predominantly Asian American community, and city leaders have set up a crisis center for anyone affected by the tragedy.
The FDA is weighing a major shift in its strategy to administer COVID vaccines. Ivan Rodriguez explains.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration wants to simplify the COVID-19 vaccine process to mirror that of the flu vaccine.
I certainly can't say that patients are very confused and have been, I think, even from the start. What does full vaccination mean? What's part of your regular cycle? What's a booster?
The FDA says it expects to assess circulating strains of the virus that causes COVID-19 at least annually and decide in June which strains to select for the fall season. much like the process to update flu vaccines.
Messaging that is more simple of when you should get your next shot, essentially, I think will be helpful for those people who do have the intention to stay immunized and on top of their vaccines.
Moving forward, most people may need only one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine to restore protection, regardless of how many shots they've already received. 2 doses may be needed for people who are very young and haven't been exposed, or for elderly or immune compromised. The FDA saying this simplification of vaccine composition should reduce complexity, decrease vaccine administration errors due to the complexity of a number of different vial presentations, and potentially increase vaccine compliance by allowing clear communication.
The more immunity you have to something before you face that something, the better you're going to do when you come across it.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
The FDA's independent vaccine advisors will meet on Thursday to discuss the future of COVID-19 vaccine regimens.
Well, here we go again. The Powerball jackpot on the rise. You could win $500 million. No one won on Saturday. The latest jackpot still pretty far from the top 10 jackpots, which peaked at $2 billion in November. But with a cash value of $271 million, it could still be fairly life-changing. The Dane County Humane Society's Wildlife Center needs your help with an unusual trio of birds.
All in the same room, they've paired a pelican, a swan, and a goose with fractured wings. And while the feathered friends heal, they're asking for donations from the community. Our Andrew Banster is here with the story. And some good news, Andrew, for at least one of them.
That's exactly right. The Wildlife Center at Dane County Humane Society doesn't receive any government funding. Their pelican needs a constant supply of large fish, while the swan's food costs have skyrocketed due to a lettuce shortage. So they're asking for your help in finding new homes. The swan and goose have become good friends while in closed quarters, and they'll be in captivity for life. The goose, though, he's more of an outsider. He likes these trash cans, but his story, it restores your faith in humanity.
Residents around this soccer field in Middleton saw that this goose was still hanging around even though the rest of the flock had left. And they were concerned and they reached out to us, and Animal Services caught the goose, brought the goose here, and we discovered after numerous tests that turns out he had a fracture in his wing.
The community rallied around the goose, who Lisa says likes to hide in those trash cans, and we'll be happy to hear that when his wing was healed, he was released into the wild today. At 6, I'll tell you how the pelican and swan ended up together in the first place, what their future holds, and how you can help.
I look forward to that. Interesting story, Andrew. Thank you. Gary has our latest First Warn forecast. That's next at 5.
Plus, strong reactions from Republicans and Democrats in the nation's capital after more classified documents are found at President Biden's home. We'll have details after the break. And tonight at 6, a tragic warning from a Verona area mother after she loses her child to suicide.
And on Wall Street, the Dow jumping 254 points to open the week. The Nasdaq climbs 224 and the S&P adds 47. We'll be right back.
Need to update your furniture? Menards has the furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $2.99 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional, a new recliner, or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up. Get to Menards before they're gone. In-store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
This is it. The countdown has begun. The final days of Denny's Jewelers retirement sale are here. The last markdown has been made. All fine finished jewelry is now being sacrificed up to 70% off store-wide. All must go. Nothing held back. This is Denny's Jewelers sale of a lifetime. The final days of Pete Denny's retirement sale are here at Denny's Jewelers. This is your last chance to save up to 70% off before the sale is over. Denny's Jewelers retirement sale, 1903 Cayuga Street, Middleton.
Bob's presents 2023 Furniture Resolutions. Resolution number 12, live without regrets. Comparison shopping is tough. Both of these sofas power recline. Both have USB ports, but my Avenger Power Reclining Sofa has comfy Bobapedic seating and a neat drop-down table with cup holders. Theirs doesn't. My Avenger is only $9.99. Those other guys charge $18.35. You're too savvy for that. Live without shopping regrets with my Avenger Sofa. Bob's Discount Furniture. Furniture solutions to your resolutions.
Monsters of Destruction is coming, and coming with a vengeance. Monster Trucks, Tough Trucks, Monster Truck Rides, new to Madison, Quad Wars, no rules, all things, no race to the finish you don't want to miss. Buckshot, War Wizard, Heavy Hitter against the King and Alcatraz, all ready for 3 massive shows. Every ticket is a pit pass. Come early to meet the drivers. Take a ride, snap a pic with a real monster truck. Don't miss the Monsters of Destruction at the Alliant Energy Center, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Get your tickets now at monstersofdestruction.com.
That they had a 5 to 10% chance of survival.
A grieving mother shares the story of her non-binary child suicide, highlighting the mental health challenges faced by LGBTQ+ members across the state. That's tonight at 5.
News 3 Now and St. Vincent de Paul are collecting new and gently used blankets for our neighbors in need. You can drop them off at any Dane County St. Vincent de Paul store or participating area churches January 27th through the 29th. Please donate and recycle the warmth.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
An FBI search of President Biden's Delaware home has turned up even more material with classified markings, raising questions about who had access to those areas. Nicole D'Antonio has the latest.
House Republicans are demanding to know who had access to President Biden's Wilmington, Delaware home where classified material was being kept. The Secret Service maintains it does not keep records of who visits the House. But in a new letter to the agency's director, the head of the House Oversight Committee is demanding law enforcement and criminal justice records generated when people are screened prior to visiting the home.
This is going to be crucial, I think, to the special counsel's investigation, is why did the president have these documents? Who did he show them to?
More items marked classified were found at the president's Wilmington home on Friday when the FBI searched the residence. During the nearly 13-hour search, investigators pored over personally handwritten notes, files, papers, binders, memorabilia, to-do lists, schedules, and reminders going back decades. The president's attorney says the FBI took 6 items consisting of documents with classification markings and surrounding materials.
The president and his lawyers offered up access, unprecedented access, I should add, to every single room of the president's personal home to ensure that any documents that need to be properly in possession of the government are taken and are in proper possession of the government.
It's not just Republicans raising questions as more documents are uncovered. Even some of the president's closest allies say they're frustrated by the ongoing revelations.
It's not supposed to happen. Whether it was the fault of a staffer or an attorney, it makes no difference. The elected official bears ultimate responsibility.
The White House says it is fully cooperating with the investigation, but House Republicans, already critical of the Justice Department, plan to conduct their own investigation. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The House Oversight Committee has already launched an investigation looking into the Department of Justice. Well, let's get a look at your certified most accurate weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has your forecast. Gary?
It was nice to see some sunshine this afternoon. All of the brisk winds kind of made up for having the sunshine out there with a chill. But 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for dry weather for tomorrow, even though we'll see mostly cloudy skies. There might be a few peaks of sun in there. Some snow is likely on Wednesday and then again on Friday. Right now, it looks like just minor accumulations for both of those events. But colder weather definitely on the way for this weekend and for much of next week. In fact, temperatures should drop to well below normal. We have seen our temperatures above normal every single day since December 28th. That's almost 4 straight weeks. Tonight, just a few flurries up in the northern portion of the Midwest. There's actually a cold front moving into far northern Wisconsin, but the bulk of the first batch of air will stay to our north and to our east. And you can see 6-hour future track radar, a few flurries up through northern Wisconsin. I think most of us will stay dry for tonight. Now, the system that comes in on Wednesday, this starts early on Wednesday morning. Notice the snow coming in and really favoring areas south and east of Madison. There'll be some flurries elsewhere, but if there are any snow accumulations, the best chances will be from Madison on toward the south and east, and it really isn't going to amount to that much. But as far as the future track snow totals, maybe an inch or two in Milwaukee, over toward Lake Michigan, parts of northern Illinois. Heavier totals down to the south, but around Madison, maybe an inch, maybe a little bit less than that. And then the next weather system from Thursday night into Friday, very similar. Perhaps an inch. A few places up to our north and west might see as much as 2 inches of snow, but these will not be major weather systems. They will cause some slippery road surfaces. But that temperature trend dropping, that's definitely on the way. You can see high temperatures above the average of 27 by the end of the period, which is Groundhog's Day. That's when our temperatures start their rise. 28 is the average high temperature, but those temperatures will be very much below that. 29 for the low in Monona, 29 in Oregon overnight with mostly cloudy skies, 28 in Monroe, 28 in Watoma, and 29 for the overnight low in Baraboo. For tomorrow, high of 33, variably cloudy skies, but it should be dry. And then as we take a look at future track beginning early on Wednesday morning, again, the snow favoring areas south and east of Madison. Temperatures below freezing, upper 20s to around 30 degrees. The farther north and west you go, probably just some flurries up around the Dells, Lone Rock, Richland Center, just some very light snow there. And by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, you can see most of the snow off to the east of us. There still could be a straggling flurry, but snowfall amounts generally an inch or less from Madison on toward the south. The 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures drop a little bit for Thursday. They come back up to around freezing on Friday. Then that system that brings the snow on Friday brings a shot of colder air. Saturday's high of 22 in the morning with nearly steady temperatures. Another shot of snow Saturday night into early Sunday morning could bring some minor accumulations. And take a look at those high temperatures. Nighttime low temperatures dropping into the single digits. We're talking wind chills early in the morning, perhaps as cold as 10 to 20 degrees below zero for much of next week. As we check out first warn traffic tonight, here's the live view of the Beltline over at Park Street. Traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. Not seeing any problems out there. The roads are in pretty good shape. The Beltline right now showing a lot of green. Same thing with I-39, 90, 94 on the east side of Madison. Major highways in pretty good shape. A 15-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 25 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-39, 90. US 12, Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute commute. And downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue and US 151 takes you 18 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. A new warning from the World Health Organization about the danger of trans fats. It says billions of people are still being exposed to the harmful toxins that kill 500,000 people a year. Denmark was the first country in the world to wipe out trans fat, and the FDA banned them in the U.S. in 2018. Countries across Europe, including the United Kingdom, set strict limits.
There's been real progress, but still 5 billion people are living in countries that have not protected them from trans fat causing heart attack and death.
While more than 40 major countries have taken steps to eliminate trans fats, most of the world goes unchecked. Still to come tonight at 5, how the new Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is transforming the crisis care system. We'll have that story next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. Find new experiences. Find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.99% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups or get $1,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $3,250 total cash allowance.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
What? You mean...
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Wow. So sudden. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage so we don't have to worry about it conversation.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan from Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. Sometimes we just need a reminder not to take today for granted. It could be the death of someone you know or a health scare. That's why today could be a great day to call for free information about Colonial Penn's $9.95 plan. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned down for any health reason. This is permanent coverage. Just pay your premiums for lifelong security. The $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life plan. Options start at just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate can never go up. It's locked in for life. Don't put it off. Take the first easy step. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3399 for your free information and free gift. That's 1-800-290-3399. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-290-3399. 1-800-290-3399. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn?
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Since the summer launch of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, the new 3-digit number has seen a significant rise in call volume. That's according to the latest data.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at the numbers and why some believe the new lifeline is transforming the crisis care system.
In 6 months, 3 numbers have connected millions of people to more than 200 call centers, the majority being answered in under a minute.
The average speed to answer year over year was about 3 minutes in 2021. It's now 44 seconds in December of 2022.
Since the transition to the easier to remember 988, more than 300,000 calls, texts, and chats have come in each month. The latest data shows calls answered increased by 48%, comparing December 2022 to the same month in 2021. Chats answered also increased by 263%, and texts answered increased by more than 1,400%.
There's been tremendous national dialogue, conversation, discussion about 988, about suicidal crises, mental health crises.
Health experts believe that's helped to reduce stigma and encouraged people to seek help. The Lifeline has also seen a lot of demand for a pilot program being tested that's aimed at the LGBTQ+ community, where youth have the option of being connected with counselors specially trained in inclusive crisis care.
Good morning, 988. How can I help you? There has been a lot of demand and a lot of utilization of that service. Which really speaks to what we've known all along, that there is a huge need in that population for access to care.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The 988 Lifeline already has a Spanish-speaking subnetwork for people who call in, but this year there are plans to add Spanish access to care through chats and texts as well.
And there's also a pilot being tested with care specifically aimed at connecting with American Indian and Alaska natives. And we're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Monsters of Destruction is coming! coming and coming with a vengeance. Monster trucks, tough trucks, monster truck rides. New to Madison, Quad Wars. No rules, all things go race to the finish you don't want to miss. Buckshot, War Wizard, Heavy Hitter, Against the Queen, and Alcatraz. All ready for 3 massive shows. Every ticket is a pit pass. Come early to meet the drivers. Take a ride, snap a pic with a real monster truck. Don't miss the Monsters of Destruction at the Alliant Energy Center, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Get your tickets now at monstersofdestruction.com.
I became an orthopedic surgeon for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons. To help you take walks again. To ease your pain.
To rebuild your strength.
And at every step along the way,
we take the time to answer all your questions.
We're here because we care. We care about you. You.
You.
They care about me. Sauk Prairie Healthcare Orthopedics, now offering robotic-assisted knee replacement.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness. Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland. Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Every family is a little bit different, and we'd all love life to be a little bit simpler. No matter where you work or how hard you play, you need reliable appliances to help you conquer the inevitable hectic day. Whether you're optimizing space for the next great race or looking for a quiet place, Criterion Appliances are ready when you are.
Coming up right here on the CBS Evening News, we're on the ground from Monterey Park, California, where the death toll rose to 11 today after a gunman entered this dance hall behind me. Well, tonight we've got our interview with the governor of California, plus the questions that remain about whether these victims were intentionally targeted. That and more news tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And let's go to Gary for one final check of the forecast.
Watching for some flurries out there, not seeing any. There's the live view from the Edgewater Skycam and the WISC-TV Skycam. Just some clouds out there. High-resolution radar, maybe a flurry or two if you look really hard over toward northern portions of Sauk County up around Baraboo. 6-hour future track radar shows very little in the way of precipitation, but temperatures are cold, upper 20s to around 30 degrees right now.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.